it's Heather from Cuz Dis and Dat, and today we are going to do our truth and tell. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so you're probably wondering why I have this on. Well, actually I had taken most of my makeup off after this, but every year, well not every year, we've made a tradition out of all the kids in my family that every 5th grade we have a Halloween party for them. And so like my kids, we invited the whole 5th grade. My sister invited all the girls in my niece's class. So anyways, yeah, so I did a Halloween party today. So yeah, with COVID and everything else going on, but we did it all outside and made sure everybody was safe, and we froze to death. But yeah, I was a crow. Do I look stunning? Yeah, all my makeup's off and everything now. I still have like white in my hair. I'm gonna have to go wash it all out tonight. But yeah, I did take off most of my makeup. I did wear my little Halloween earrings that I got from Airfleek. How cute is that? But yeah, so I think when I actually go gray, I'm gonna be a hottie. What do you think? Anyways, let's get into some of these questions. So I'm going off of the ones that got the most likes first, and then we will just go from there. Let's see. Okay. Okay, the first one is from Kelly LaChapelle, I believe is how you say it. If I get your last name wrong, I'm sorry. I'm not the best at pronouncing last names. Okay, so she says, what is your favorite thing to bake or cook for the holidays, and can we have the recipe? So I love to bake and cook during the holidays, yes. I will be doing some videos on some of that. My favorite things to do, we do divinity, we do caramels, we do fudge, we do pumpkin rolls. Man, there's so many things that we have made over the years. Chocolates, yeah, there's just a ton of things. So if you want a recipe right now, I'll give you one really quick, really fast one. This is a cooking recipe. A lot of people use it as a casserole. Some people don't. We call them funeral potatoes. My grandmother always said that we call them sunshine potatoes because they taste too good to be a funeral potato. But in Utah, anytime that there is a funeral, it is a quick, fast, easy, cheap way to do it. So literally, this is what it is, okay? Get a thing of sour cream. Get a great big can of cream of chicken. Then get a bag of hash browns, maybe 2, depending on how big your baking dish is. Then throw it all in together, add some onion, throw it all in together, bake at 350 for 20 minutes, then pull it out, throw cheese on top. You can put Rice Krispies on top, cornflakes on top. Me personally, I like to do the French's onions on top, but then you go and throw that back in another 20 minutes at the 350, and then that cooks it up. Really fast, yummy, great holiday dish. It kind of takes away from you not having to do mashed potatoes, and it tastes really good. So sunshine potatoes, funeral potatoes, whatever you want to call it, but that's what we've got. The next question is from Ruby Brown. Hey, Ruby. Hi, Kelly. I didn't say hi to you first. Then she says, how many different types of boxes do you unbox, and which is your favorite top 3? And so I've got my FabFitFun box. I have my Boxy Base, my Boxy Premium, my Boxy Luxe. I have Chandler's Birchbox Grooming Box. I have Allure. I have the With Box. I have Studio 2911 now that I'm going to be trying to get that every month. I have Earflake. So I have 9 technically. I did cancel Lip Monthly, and also I canceled Fabletics. So that's where I am. My favorite ones are FabFitFun. I'm not sure on this new winter box. It's like there's a few things in there that I like, and then some of the other things I'm like, I don't know. Then it used to be Boxy was probably my number 1 or number 2 picks. They've kind of dropped down a little bit just because some of the things haven't been the greatest, and we have gotten sample sizes versus large or whole sizes, which they say that they give us full sizes, but so yeah, Boxy's just kind of dropped down on my thing. My base box this month was amazing. My premium box, it was okay. I mean, it was good, but then we got to the eyeliner and it was bad. So I'm gonna say FabFitFun, With, and Studio 2911 are my top 3. Okay, on to the next. Michelle Langdon. Hi, Michelle. Okay, what is the biggest lessons that you have learned about people as a whole since you have been doing your channel? The best and the worst. Honestly, as a whole, I actually was surprised with all the friendships. I was not expecting that. And between other fellow YouTubers and viewers, the friendships are amazing. I mean, I don't even know you guys, but I feel like I do know you, and you are so wonderful to me. So honestly, that is the best. For the worst, I really have a hard time figuring out the worst. Every once in a while I'll get a comment about naked ladies or something like that on my thing, and I have to go and delete it or block it. So that might be the worst. Then there's other channels that are way too much drama. Really don't follow them just because I don't like to get into that drama. I like girlfriends and I like friends. I don't like drama, and leave it at home. Why do you want to hurt people? I don't get it. So anyways, that's where I'm at on that one. Then number 4 is Mimi Cat. Hey girl. And do you have any pets, and what kind? So yep, I do have 2 cats. I have Pumpkin, and I also have Baby. And Baby has a strange name because when we got her, she was so little teeny tiny, and we were redoing our living room and our kitchen area, and we couldn't find her, and I thought she'd slipped down into like the heater vents or something like that, and we had just gotten her like that day and could not find her, and I was like, baby, where are you? And so the name stuck. So we have Baby. She's my little blackie kitty. She's got like a little tiny little white fur right here, but yeah, she's my little blackie kitty. Then we did have a dog, but she actually passed away a couple weeks ago. She was diagnosed with cancer. So yeah, so there's that. Okay, number 5, Dawn of the Dead. Hey, Dawn. I love that name too. So that's so perfect for right now with Halloween and that, but yeah, Dawn of the Dead. It says, you said that YouTube takes you outside of your comfort zone. What made you start a channel? Honestly, I really didn't know what I was doing. My son actually YouTubes, and he's been doing it, I think, since he's been 15. He does animation. And I really didn't know why I was trying to get into this. Probably after my hysterectomy, I went through a really, really bad depressive state. And if I don't seem to be doing something, I get into that depressive state, and I hate it. And it's literally menopause. I will blame everything on menopause, especially surgical menopause. I blame everything on it. And I really didn't want to get into that state. And I thought, well, it's just fun. Let's try it out. And at first I was supposed to be doing it with my cousin. It was my idea. And we kind of set it up that way. And if you actually scroll down to some of the earlier videos, she's on there. We had done a couple of filmings, which my son was supposed to edit because I had no idea how to edit, and it never got done, and I got tired of waiting around. So I sat there and I YouTubed everything to learn how to edit my videos. But she wasn't really all that into it. And that's fine. I mean, she's got a little girl, she works, all that kind of stuff. So she really wasn't quite into it, but I thought it'd be fun because, she's 14, 15 years younger than me. I'm the oldest grandkid in that family. Yeah, I'm the old one. But I thought it'd be fun just to kind of do it because me and her, we just kind of goof off all the time. But then her mom ended up having a stroke in May, and that just really kind of put a halt to it. And that's another thing too that I'm dealing with right now. I'm trying to get her on like Social Security and stuff like that, which is part of my job. I do that kind of stuff. No, I'm not charging my aunt. But we're just trying to get her on Social Security so she can actually go into an assisted living home here in December. So, but that's kind of why I wanted to do my channel. Was, like I said, I blame everything on menopause. And like I said earlier, the friendships were a complete surprise to me. Before, when I watch YouTube, I just, I watch it. Oh, hey, this is kind of cool. And, sometimes I comment, or sometimes I would like something, but I wouldn't actually subscribe in that. And now I understand how important that is to YouTubers and how much that means to them. Okay, so number 6 was from Shanice Reviews. Hey, Shanice. She's from the UK. Yeah, love her. Gotta go check out her channel. She's awesome. She says, what countries would you like to visit that you haven't been to already? Honestly, the only country I have been to is Mexico. I know. I love, my thing is I love history. We do so many trips because we've been more of a wrestling family, football family, and because that's what my kids do. And so we have literally had to plan our trips around them. And so we haven't made it out to the UK. We haven't made it. Now, my husband said for our 25th anniversary, he goes, what do you want to do? And I was like, I would like to go to Ireland. I would like to go to Scotland. I'd like to go to England, maybe even to Wales, because I love genealogy. And I know I have family there, and I want to go visit graves. And we had a castle in Ireland that was torn down in 1954, and they just rebuilt it in 2007. And my uncle had told me about it. They've made it back there. I haven't, and I just would love that. And I want to know more of the history behind that, and more about our family. And family is always the most important thing in the world. And what can you learn from them too? I don't know. It's almost like you're feeling closer to someone that has passed away, I guess. I don't know. I know that it sounds weird, but it's genealogy is very addicting. It just is. So those are kind of the countries that I do want to go to. I mean, I know people say Paris and things like that. And I think at one time I wanted to, but the more that I think about it, the more that I really want to do more of those family history type tours as I get older. I just think that that's more important. But yes, I would love to go to the UK. So Shanice, save me a spot somewhere. Tell me what's good, where to go. Okay, so number 7. Are we on number 7 already? Well, we are. Okay, this is from Shannon Pratula. I hope I said that right. And she was wondering what diet I was starting. So it's not a diet, it's actually a cleanse. And you eat on this cleanse, and it is called the Standard Process 21-Day Cleanse. And you can put an app on your phone and everything. It does have recipes. It gives you a grocery list, all that kind of stuff. The vitamins are important. And luckily, I actually know somebody that sells it, and I get the vitamins it costs, because otherwise for the cleanse vitamins, just for the 21 days is like $200. When I can get them from $65 for all of them. I know, crazy, huh? But yeah, so wasn't even really that I wanted to diet. I'd already been working out. I know, just, doing the keto, like, just nothing was happening. And I know how hard it is to lose weight during menopause. It's almost impossible, honestly. And even the doctors will say that. So, I really just wanted my brain to come back and to start feeling better, because, like I said, menopause, like I said, I'll blame everything on menopause, because that stuff, yeah, it literally has thrown me for a loop. And so instead of gradually being able to go into it like most women, because I ended up having my last ovary taken out, which everything else was gone anyways, but that really threw me for a loop. And I already talked about it on one other video about how horrible it has been for me. And I probably want to actually, maybe, stupid fly, get into it further, just because there's so much now that I know. And I will tell you this, I do not like doctors at all. I don't trust them. They're horrible. They always, like, they check your levels and, oh, you're good, but they're not really checking. And they're sometimes only checking one thing, instead they should be checking like 4 or 5 different things. Did you know that estrogen has, let's see, is there 4 or 5? I think there's 4 or 5 types of different estrogen. Then you have your progesterone, which is generally related to people that have endometriosis, that have PCOS, that have fibroid tumors. It's because our bodies aren't creating it. But when we go get our blood test and everything, it's showing that it's fine. It's just kind of like your thyroid. There's 5 different tests for a thyroid, and most doctors check only 3 or 4. So this is why I don't like doctors. I really hate doctors. I've actually, with health problems, it's just horrible. Anyways, so that's kind of why I started the cleanse. I just wanted to feel better. So anyways, moving on. Next one's Wendy Scholes. She's awesome. Great viewer. Has lots of ideas to kind of help my channel and everything else. Yeah, she's awesome. So anyways, she wrote, if you could go back in time and do it all over again to change the course of your history, what age would you jump back to, and what would you change? So one thing that I strongly, strongly believe in is, no matter what I've had to go through in my life, which sometimes it's not been great, and sometimes it just feels like it's piling and piling and piling and piling on. That's why I like to do YouTube too, because it's kind of that hobby of me, so I just can ignore those problems. So I believe that our problems are there because we need to learn to grow from them and to change to become a better person. So I don't know if I would change really any event, maybe except for the doctor stuff. I don't know. But there is one thing that I would do. I would have gone back to 11 years old, and I would have smacked that freaking cigarette out of my hand and yeah, if I would have known now what I was rebellious and I had adults giving me stuff. But once again, it's the things that you do also make you who you are today. But unfortunately with me, that is something that I have struggled with the rest of my life. So I can sometimes go 4 years without smoking, and then I go back. And after my hysterectomy, I did end up going back to smoking. It seems like to be the only way to deal with my stress. And I know that sounds horrible, but that's where I'm at this point in time. But I will say this, with the cleanse, I've noticed that I've been cutting back. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I know it's not good for me, and especially as I'm getting older, and especially where I am on hormones and stuff like that. There is a risk, and I want it to go away, and I'm just praying that I will have the gumption and the will to do it. I've made it through the caffeine. Let's see if we can make it through the smoking part. Let's see if I can kick it in the butt. I'm just gonna be a grumpy bear. Okay, so yeah, that's the one thing in my life that I would change is that moment. Mimi Rodriguez said, what has to be the most difficult situation in your life, and what has been the most beautiful? The most difficult situation in my life. That one's a little bit tougher one. So, and this has just been a snowball event happening since this, but about 4 years ago, my son got a brain injury. And I've had actually other things. Like I had another son that ended up all of a sudden just having grand mal seizures and things like that, and thought that was horrible. But going through my son with a brain injury, so an illegal move was done on him at wrestling during practice, and of course nothing happened to that person. Yeah, I have issues with that. But yeah, an illegal move was done on my son, and horrible. I mean, he would, even for days, I mean, he'd walk into doors. He just was not doing good. And then he'd start doing a little bit better. And then he went and worked at an amusement park for doing a haunted house. And some kid, because he scared him, I guess, went up and just hit him right in the head. Another concussion. So this is in like a 3-month time that all of this happens. And then he goes back to wrestling and then ends up getting another concussion. And we went through a lot. There was drug abuse that happened. There was, he ended up getting awarded over to the state because of all the things that he was doing, and we could not control him. I mean, he would take off for a week. We could not find him. It was just, it's very, when you're dealing with a brain injury, there is a lot of anger, and working with people with disabilities and brain injuries, I know, in my mind, I know that it can take up to 2 years before you even know what they're going to be like, and that there can be aggression, there can be anger, there can be fear, there's just so many emotions that go on in their head because they're not thinking right. And especially when one has not developed and had their full frontal lobe at the age of 25 and have that fully developed, it even makes it even worse. But it also helps it so it heals faster, but you still have to go through all the crap. So that, and then it just seemed like everything happened. Like my sewer flooded, my kitchen got flooded. I just, like, so many things, and things like just kept happening, and they still do. It's like I get a little bit of a break and then something else happens. And so I'm trying to look at it as it's not a full moment. It's one thing at a time. Is this bad luck? I don't know. Is it life? Yes. And do some people get it more than others? Just kind of like what I was telling you about my aunt. My aunt was also, I was also her supervisor. And so I've worked with her clients and everything else. And but she's also my best, like one of my best friends, if that makes sense. Like, she's only 12 years older than me. And here she has a stroke and she has high blood pressure. Another reason why I need to quit smoking. So, but that is probably the most difficult. The most beautiful time, honestly, my kids. Like, they really are my joy. I mean, they're pains in the butts. They are, but they really are my joy. They are, I love it when they're all here and they're laughing and giggling and loud and their dad's telling them to shut up because he's trying to sleep. But I love that they are all so close and how much they love each other. And like my son today, like he came in today, because he doesn't live with us anymore. He actually moved out, and the one that had the brain injury. And he was like, Mom, hey, what about this? Could you take care of this for me? And blah, blah, you know, and I was like, yeah, but probably not till Monday. And it's like, oh, okay. And he's like, all right, well, I gotta go. And then he leaves, and then he runs back in, and he gives me a hug, and he's like, I love you, Mom. That's the most beautiful, is my kids. I love them to death. And anything ever happened to them besides everything else. And I think that's the hardest part as a mom, is watching them go through all that stuff. And especially my one son and the brain injury. It is so hard to watch, and you have no control over those things whatsoever. So that's what we are. Okay, so Jean I'm gonna always get this wrong. Fascine? I don't know. I'm sorry. I told you I'm gonna do horrible on these. Where are you originally from? I'm from Utah. So I've only moved out of this state for about 1.5 years, and I moved to Texas with my biological dad and my stepmom. Yeah, long story there too. Maybe I'll get to that one day. Let's see. So Christina has opinions and horrible video skills, right? I think that's what it said. Anyways, she's awesome. She makes me laugh. Drinking glasses up or down. When drying, they are down. When put in the cupboard, I prefer them up, but that doesn't mean that my kids and that do the exact same thing. Most of the time they're down. So, but that's what I prefer. I don't know. I look at it after they've kind of dried. I don't want more bacteria building up in them. I know, I think about that kind of stuff. Is that weird? Okay. I'm a little OCD, just a little. Okay, so Taylor Leanne, she said, do you have any craft or hobbies like crochet, knitting, crafting of any kind? So I do. I love to craft when I have time. I actually do crochet. I am a left-hander. My grandmother tried to teach me how to crochet for lots of times, even just like by hand and crocheting that way, just making your one line. And is that what we call it? Yeah, I can't remember. Anyways, I just do it. But I literally finally, oh man, I think it was probably when I was 25, 26. I went and got a crocheting book and I looked at it and I'm like, okay, I just need to switch it over to this hand. And I literally had to make my brain switch over that way. So I do like crocheting. I never get time. In fact, I have got so many blankets that I have done or haven't completed, I guess is the thing. So I do like that. I do like making home crafts. I love decorating. I like doing floral arrangements. I really like decorating. Let me actually show you something that we made. My husband took some of the lights out and I'm a little bit mad, but I'm gonna bring this up. So my grandpa that passed away, He worked for Union Pacific, and we got this huge ladder, which I still have the other part of it, but I'm gonna actually just bring this up so you guys can see it. Well, I'm gonna take this. So if you guys can see that, that is what we made. So we did like a chandelier with the ladder. So I hope you guys can see it, because I don't know if you can or not. So I do. I love doing crafts when I have time. All right, let's see. Okay, then, okay, the next one was from Angel L, and she just wanted to give away. I saw that. It says, do you have a big family? Also, do they live near you? So I kind of do have a big family. It was my mom and dad had divorced. Okay. My biological dad gave me and my sister up for adoption. Okay, but he still remained in our lives. Kind of. Kind of. But my other dad, so he adopted me. So on that side of the family, I have two, okay, so I have one full sister, and I don't even look at it this way because I hate saying half or anything because they're my sisters, if that, yeah. So I have two sisters, and I have one brother on that side. Then I have on my dad's side, we have Becky, Devlin, and Stephanie. And then when my dad passed away, my stepmom remarried, and she's got another son. And anyways, so I technically think of him as family. I don't know him very well, but he just got married. So, and he's Caden's age. Oh, it's so weird all these kids are getting married. I'm like, no. So, yeah, most of our family, so part of my family is in Texas. One of my sisters from Texas is living here while her husband is finishing up school, which then she'll move back, and that really saddens me. I would love to get to Texas once a year. It doesn't happen. I do have an airline ticket. I was supposed to go back in April, and because of COVID, that was canceled. So I do have an airline ticket. We'll just kind of wait till hopefully COVID's over, maybe 2 years from now. Horrible, right? Oh, I said the bad word too. I shouldn't say that. Most of us, like my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, we all know each other, even if we haven't seen each other for a while or something like that. Like, we just all love each other. We do family reunions. We do, I don't know. We just do. I love our families. It's close. My husband was also adopted, but even his family, like, because he's Navajo, or more Navajo, but also Hopi, and his Hopi side and his Navajo side, I love getting together with the women and cooking with them. They're just amazing. And it's so much fun. It's not that it's the woman thing to do to cook. It is the gathering and the talking and building those relationships. Those are my most favorite memories of all, is doing any of that with my family. Okay, so let's see. So Dawn of the Dead and Jenna Rotella have brought up about my health issues and what are the most difficult and how do I get relief. So I've had a few. My biggest one was my hysterectomy at 16. I was put into the emergency room. The doctors, this is why I hate doctors, they said that I was lying and that I was faking appendicitis. Then when I was 17, finally it took me passing out for them to send me to a gynecologist to actually go and do an ultrasound and everything else. And I had cysts the size of tennis balls. But nobody ever told me I had PCOS. I had several different surgeries down there because of the cysts, and nobody ever told me I had endometriosis. This is why I hate doctors. Then when they did have to take my uterus out, they left a piece in. Another reason I hate doctors, because guess what? Then the endometriosis went all over my organs. So that's probably one of my worst ones. I've had whooping cough before. That was horrible. As I've gotten older, yeah, I definitely not liking the getting older part, but last year probably was my most difficult. I literally thought I was going to die, and every test was known to man, and I kept telling the doctors that I thought it was scar tissue. You cannot see scar tissue on any test. You can't see it. And I just kept telling them, and that they were running every test. But anyways, I couldn't keep anything down. I couldn't eat anything. I was in so much pain. And one doctor, the smart aleck, said, because my first attack happened the 1st of May. And this is like around the 1st of July I'd gone in for another visit because, nothing was happening. And honestly, I had already wrote out my eulogy, what I wanted done at my funeral, everything, because I literally thought I was going to die, and I knew I was going to die in the next 2 weeks. But it was horrible. It was pain. But anyways, he goes, well, if you can't keep anything down, he goes, why aren't you losing weight? Once again, have you heard of menopause? No, and I wasn't. It was really, it was horrible. Anyways, so I left there, and there was one day, and I think it was like the 6th or the 7th of July, and I had to take my son to football practice. And of course, I just was feeling like crap. My boss had made me take a week off. And anyways, so she had asked me, she goes, do you feel like you could come back? And of course, me lying, saying, oh yeah, I could come back. I'm feeling great. I wasn't. But anyway, so I told her that I was going to call my clients and get them all scheduled. And I was going to do that the next day. Well, that next day, I went and took my son to football practice. And that morning, there was like a sun glare, and I went to go reach for my sunglasses, and I wasn't going more than 10 miles an hour. And boom, I hit somebody in the car. But guess what happened? Something popped in my belly. And adrenaline going, and I'm running out and making sure she's okay. Long story, don't want to get into that one. But then the next day, I noticed I was getting better. The next day, I noticed that I wasn't nauseated and that I could actually eat something. So it took me about a week, and even still today. And so that does tell me that is scar tissue, because what happened was right on my belly, right where my seatbelt was, that's where it had hit, and that's what had done it. So to this day, I still have had a couple of incidences where I do get nauseated and all that, but some other health alternative medicines that I've done, like castor oil, rapeseed oil, because that does help break up scar tissue. I kind of try to keep that on my belly. Nothing's been as bad as it was then. From doctors, and he did give me an answer, and he goes, well, if it is scar tissue, it's like right between your stomach and your small intestine, and he goes, on that valve, and he goes, you would have to have a bag for the rest of your life. And he's like, I'm not opening you up, because I guess it's a really risky surgery. I don't know, but what would have been the point if I hadn't been in that car accident? I think somebody was looking out for me, but if I hadn't been in that car accident, I probably would have been gone. So anyways, so there's that. I don't want to think about that right now. Wow. Okay, no tears, because I don't cry. Life with Lois. What is your favorite hobby, favorite herb, and have you been to a Pioneer Women's mercantile? Okay, so I'm thinking it's Pioneer Women's that like sells at Walmart, and they go and they're on TV and all that. No. Now, if you want to say like a real Pioneer's mercantile, We live in Utah. Our ancestors were pioneers. Okay, we actually have genealogy on that. So in certain areas where that history is very prominent, or things that you want to go to, there's this place called This Is a Place. There are general stores. But for pioneer women, no, and I think that would actually be pretty awesome. I don't think there is anything like that around here. So that would be fun. And I hope I'm talking about the right thing. So, favorite hobby right now, it's YouTubing. It really is. I've learned I like working out, and I used to all the time. I used to be a dancer. So, my favorite herb, oh, you're gonna probably kill me for this one. So my favorite herb is mint, and I will tell you why, even though I know everybody thinks that it's awful and it's hard to keep. I love mint. Okay, number one, it is beautiful, and you put it on any plate setting to make it look beautiful. It just will. It smells good. It gets rid of mosquitoes, and it spreads throughout my rock wall. I have a very large rock wall. Okay, so Missy Slaughter said, I think this is the last question. Now I got 2 more questions. This is a long video. I'll be editing. Missy Slaughter says, what is your biggest dream? My biggest dream, honestly, I mean, years ago it was, oh, I wanted to go to NYU and be a dancer, singer. I love Broadway, all that kind of stuff like that. I just grew up around that. That's our family's musical. I started dancing when I was 2 or 3. So that was my biggest dream growing up as a kid, was to make it in Broadway. Now my biggest dream is that my kids are healthy, and that, how about this? World peace would be my biggest dream. This world's just, wow. But the thing is what I found is this world might be crazy, but there are some pretty amazing people in it, and they make a difference. And as long as we keep doing our part and trying to make a difference in the world, then all that bad stuff it's there, and it will continue to be there, but we've got to keep doing and growing to become better. I don't know. That's just, I wish it would all go away and we all could be nice and happy. And I know it's not going to happen because we got a lot of mental health things that go on, and there's personality disorders and everything else. So yeah, but that would be my dream. World peace. Next question. Christina has opinions again with horrible editing. I can't remember what it is, but you know who I'm talking about. All right. So, who are the naked girls who leave YouTubers comments, and are they faked or are they trafficked women? So I did do a little research when she did do it, because, and I've had, a few times where, well, quite a few times where I've had to go and block people. So my opinion on this is, I do believe that there are definitely trafficked women doing on there, with no control of their own. I don't know what the percentage is, but I definitely believe that they are being trafficked. Do I also believe that there are other women out there that are doing it maybe because they don't feel great about themselves, or maybe they do feel great about themselves. I guess it's their prerogative. I do believe in modesty, and so I do have my core values on that. So I do believe in modesty, and if you're beautiful and everything else, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it, but yes, I do believe a lot of those women are being trafficked, and probably even children, which Yeah, won't go there. Yeah. Okay, so last question, number 19, Dawn of the Dead. What state would you most likely, would you most likely visit that you haven't been to? So I've been to quite a few states. So I'm like going, yeah, what one would I like to visit? So there's one time that I did have to be in Washington, D.C. And once again, I'm a history buff, right? So I was kind of staying in, we're in West Virginia or Virginia? I can't remember. But I would love to do like Pennsylvania and West Virginia and, you know, go and see where the Declaration of Independence was signed. Like I said, I love history. I actually do know that George Washington, apparently I'm related to him. Crazy, huh? Actually, I think I'm related like a ton of the presidents, which is crazy as well. But I really want to go back east, and I want to do kind of that whole tour. I wanted to do the Smithsonian, all that. I've already done New York. I've done never got up to Oregon or Washington. Yeah, I think, yeah, some of those places. I've gotten a little bit into Missouri. I've been in Illinois, Michigan. I love Michigan. It's beautiful there, especially the fireflies. Well, I guess that's even in Illinois and that. I've never seen fireflies. We don't have them in Utah. I've been to Montana. I've been to Alabama. Or not Alabama, Georgia. Sorry, not thinking. So I've been to Georgia, been to Texas, been to Oklahoma, been to New Mexico. Yeah, I've been to a lot of states. But yeah, I kind of would like to go and do the whole forefathers, Declaration of Independence, how the country got started, and do it, honestly, okay, this is how I would do it. I would go on Amtrak all the way down, which would probably take me, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, right? Love Amtrak, so I can go and see all of the beauty and everything. I would love to go on Amtrak, get a sleeper car, go all the way there, and then fly back, but go and check out the Smithsonian. That would kind of be more of my dream trip to do, that wouldn't be like leaving the country. But yeah, so that's kind of what I want to do. So anyways, that is what I've got tonight. This is a very long video. Hopefully I can edit all of it for you and it won't be so long, because this could be like 40 minutes. But I want to say thank you to all of you for participating and asking me questions. I just want to say how much you guys all mean to me. I really, really mean that. So anyways, I love you all. Mwah. Bye.